Okay, well first I'll tell you, talking about the Canadian Worker Co-op Federation, or CWCF, and we're about igniting the worker co-op movement across the country for the last 20 years. On fire, you might say. And I'll tell you why the presentation is so bizarre. I read a piece, you should make the presentation outrageous, so people will remember it. So, my theme is how the CWCF is both similar to, and the exact opposite of, the Acadian people. And my phone is not cooperating with me. Bad phone. Okay. Basically, I'm speaking to the Acadian people in South Louisiana, where I grew up, specifically New Orleans. Moved to Canada in '81, skip. Okay, Acadian background. This is the site where the Acadians in 1755 were forcibly expelled by the British. I would say both are very hard working people, the Acadians and the CWCFers. Here's a plaque which shows it's at the site of the actual expulsion, which I was at for the very first time ever 1 week ago today, because it was the end of our annual meeting in Wolfville. I don't have time to read it, but hopefully you did. Okay, so similarities. Acadians and CWCF, again, both are very hardworking. This is us sitting around a table working hard in probably about 1999. Mark Goldblatt, Peter Huff with his back to the wall, for those who know him, Marty Frost with the Santa Claus look in the beard and the so on. Anyway, the similarities include, I'm a part of both. I spent my first 20 years in Acadia in Louisiana and the last 20 years in CWCF. Both have colorful logos, as you can see. Let's see. For both, the slogan "Tenacity Works," which is the slogan of our fund, works well. Other similarities. Both are bilingual in a certain sense, but not completely in the case of CWCF or Cajun culture in Louisiana. But we have more bilingual cousins, including all of those Francophone organizations that you see the logos of, or parts of them, and Maritimes. Other similarities. This is about half a block from the neighborhood where I grew up, so sometimes we go through really hard times. For the CWCF, the equivalent is the cuts to the CDI program, elimination of almost all the federal civil servants working in cooperatives, and changes to the RSP rules. Those were our Katrina moments. More similarities. We have both going to unexpected places. So after leaving the Maritimes, we went to Louisiana because the British didn't want to have anything to do with alligators being below sea level, mosquitoes, so on. And in terms of unexpected places where the CWCF might go, this is Peter Huff and me on Parliament Hill in the year 2012, presenting to the Co-op Committee along with Bill Dobson, who's been part of most of the presentations, and another from UFA, whose name I forget. That was a great day.
Bob Nelson.
Bob Nelson, thank you. And we spoke about business succession to worker co-ops, which is a huge opportunity in our sector because of the fact that all the boomers are going to retire soon, and some of them own businesses. And another, here we're into differences. So the Acadian people can sometimes in the South have issues with being a bit racist, and CWCF does not, and we embrace differences. Here's the Multicultural Health Workers Cooperative in Edmonton. Okay, another difference is the Acadian people is not a federally incorporated nonprofit worker cooperative federation, and so they don't have services. But we are. So we have the investment fund, we have the technical assistance program. Details are in our brochure, which you can find on the website. And we also have access to hard-to-find information on worker cooperatives. This is the serious part. The Canadian Worker Co-op and our partner organization, Co-op Zone, for development of all different types of co-ops, which doesn't make it onto my slide. And our monthly e-newsletter, which anyone in the room can subscribe for just by asking. More services. We have an RSP program for investment in cooperatives of all types, opportunity development co-ops, the CETA programs in Nova Scotia, and more. And again, that's every type of cooperative. You can get RSP money in, and we run the program together with Concentra, and there's another service that I'll tell you about later. And other differences, and here's my phone, we have the French Quarter in New Orleans. It's easy to say, the Quarter. The French equivalent in Canada and within CWCF is not easy to say. It's the FQCF, the FCPQ, and Le Réseau. And there's way more complication to the partnership with our 3 Quebec partners that I definitely can't tell you about. Okay, time for the phone to cooperate again. We're on to similarities. Both have an incredibly bright future despite the challenges we've come across, as long as certain conditions are met. A, for Katrina victims, we have to deal with climate change. For the CWCF, we have to get into place very good support services for creation of new worker co-ops. And that was what I was going to say in this slide. Here are some of our members. We have Nietzsche Foods, we have a forestry co-op, we have a microbrewery whose heads are cut off the members, sorry, and that's a visit to multicultural and Big Carrot in Toronto. And soon we'll have another slide. Both have theme songs. The Acadian people have, incredibly, a theme song. Ne me demandez pas pourquoi on est encore debout. Don't ask me why we are still standing. I am serious. That is a theme song. The other is that the ballad of CWCF is, come and listen to my story of CWCF. It is to the theme of the Beverly Hillbillies. I don't have time to sing it. And here is another example of CWCF in diversity. This is when we were giving an award to Louise Champagne from Nietzsche Foods. In the middle there holding the award. It's an Aboriginal one-worker co-op in Winnipeg, which is awesome. And you see we have got about half women and half men. Unfortunately, we no longer have that particular percentage of women involved in the board, but it's pretty close. Here is statue of Evangeline in Grand Prairie, where I was last week, and there's me standing in front of the actual site of the deportation, which is right behind the Just Us Coffee Roasters Co-op, which made me so happy when I found that out, because there's a good connection to that space. Thank you very much.